Hello, and welcome to Evermore Me, day 26. Today, we're going to talk about yams! And there's a question mark there, and you will understand why in a minute.
So, display A, this is a yam. If you go into your store and you were looking for yams, what you would see is this. It would be called a jewel yam. Oftentimes you also see a garnet yam. If you push into it, you see it's got a nice, rich, orange color.
But they're lying. What is actually, what is referred to as a yam in the supermarkets in America is actually a sweet potato.
Really?
And there's a lot of confusion between what makes a sweet potato, and, oh, their Velvel's here freaking out, and what makes a yam. Now, a sweet potato is actually a dicot. Mm-hmm. Which, if you remember biology from the 7th grade, the dicots are where the seeds are, in two sections. It's a flowering plant, and it's the root part of the plant. And a yam is actually a tuber of a monocot. So they're different. They're like biologically not related at all. A sweet potato's closest relatives, it's the morning glory family.
Huh.
And yams are more related to lilies and flowering grasses.
So why do we call our sweet potatoes yams?
Because there was confusion in the United States. It had to do with them being cultivated in the South, and believe it or not, most true yams that we know of came from Africa, and it had to do with the African word for food, which I have it written down somewhere. No, I don't. It was on my other sheet. But anyway, oh yeah, it's somewhere over here. The word for yam comes from, no, this is the wrong sheet. Anyway, it had to do with the word for food, but it was sort of like a semantic screw up. But sweet potatoes are sweet potatoes, which are not yams, but we know them as yams.
And generally, anytime you find a quote yam in a supermarket in North America, it will be a sweet potato.
Yes, unless you're at the farmer's market, and then a lot of times
specifically growing yams.
A lot of times at the farmer's market, you'll get like what will actually hilariously enough be called Japanese sweet potatoes, and those are actually yams.
I don't think that's true, actually.
You think that those are?
I think Japanese yams are also sweet potatoes.
You think they're also sweet potatoes?
Yeah. Huh. I'm pretty sure. I thought I read that.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which ones they are, but there are definitely yams at the.
No, yams are like a very different.
They're starchier.
Yeah.
They're much starchier. They actually have a higher sugar content.
And a different nutritional profile.
Yeah, completely different. Actually, sweet potatoes are much more awesome from a nutritional standpoint.
And so for today, I've made some sweet potato fries, and then I made a little mayonnaise-based dip. I don't know if you want to use that. And I just made the mayonnaise and added some ancho and cumin and parsley to it. So we have these, and I'll talk about some of the tricks you can if you've ever tried to make sweet potato fries and they come out soggy. There's a couple different things that you can do to avoid that. I
screw up all the time, so
it's because they're actually a challenge to do. So anyway, we'll talk about that, but very quickly, just to talk a little bit nutrition. These guys rival carrots in terms of their beta carotene source, and similarly enough, and the reason being, they are orange. Orange vegetables, rich in saturated orange, tend to contain a decent amount or a lot of beta carotene. And so they're about roughly similar to carrots, maybe just a little under. And again, so that's great for fighting chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease and inflammations.
And I assume, also carrots, they would, if they're really high in vitamin A, they'll lower your risk for stroke and lung cancer and all that good stuff.
And so just a couple things. So 4 times the RDA for beta carotene. Actually, twice the RDA just for vitamin A alone. 42% RDA vitamin C just in one of these little guys. A very rich source of potassium. Talked about how great that is for heart and brain function. And with the skin on, it has more fiber than oatmeal. And we talk about how people, eat their oats for fiber, and we, so just by keeping this on, because a lot of people peel it, and then also the antioxidant activity of the sweet potato skin, regardless of its color, is 3 times higher than the rest of the vegetable. So a reason to keep the skin on. And again, the skin has that red color, and that's those anthocyanins we've talked about.
And they're delicious when you fry them.
Mm-hmm. And also, lowest glycemic index of root vegetables, which tend to be sweet and starchy. And so if you're diabetic or you're watching your sugar, another good reason. And they taste like dessert.
They really do. Like dessert that you can dip mayonnaise in.
Yeah, there you go.
Or dip into mayonnaise.
But you can make desserts with them too. How are these?
Really good.
So, I didn't cook them long enough, but these definitely have a crunchiness that you can't get that easily with sweet potatoes. And I've researched over the years. And there's 3 tricks, maybe more, but we'll start with 3. One is you cut them into the shape that you want them, and you parboil them. So in some salted water, like you were blanching anything, you put it in. You cook them
after they're cut.
After they're cut, yep. About 5 minutes or so. You don't want to cook them all the way through because you want them to be still solid when they come out, because you're then going to bake them. And you take them out, lay them on some paper towels or some towels, and dry them because you want them to go into what they're going to be mixed with dry. But so now you've got your fry cut, and it's been parboiled, partially cooked. Then you toss it in a bowl with your oil. We use safflower oil, obviously. And one of the secrets here is a little bit of egg white. If I were to redo these, I would probably want 1 egg white per 2 sweet potatoes. This is 1 sweet potato. So there was a little extra egg white to go around. And then salt, pepper, because I'm addicted to cumin, I threw a little of that in. And last tip, you want to keep them on the pan as separate from each other. The thing is that they tend to get soggy and stay soggy. So by pre-cooking them, it takes less time for them to match the outside and the inside because they cook so quickly. In 5 minutes, you'll start to see brown on these once they go in the oven. And by keeping them separate, they won't steam up and keep staying soggy. So anyway, let Hannah talk about how they taste and what
they taste delicious. And of course, that's Allison's like healthy way for making sweet potato French fries. There's also the unhealthy way, which is just to fry them.
Oh sure, yeah.
If you want them to be like crispy and delicious and unhealthy, you can just like throw them in the fryer or pan fry them in oil. But
and that you can do with safflower oil.
Yeah, you can do that with safflower oil. But this is the healthier version. But for those of you who are they're both delicious.
I'm not against frying or pan frying. I mean, you fry certain things on occasion. There's nothing wrong with frying on occasion.
So yeah, if you would like to go for a different take on it, just throw those babies in oil.
And have you done that?
No, I was reading about it last night.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, it makes, obviously, same with my latkes. I mean, I fry those guys. I don't bake them. And I just think they get crispier. But
I was reading that vegetables book last night. You know how, the vegetables cookbook? God, what's his name? The guy who wrote it.
John Peterson?
Peterson, yes.
Not John Peterson. But
we know somebody named John Peterson. But yeah, the Peterson...
I have to watch him.
The Peterson cookbook, I was reading it because I'm so inspired by Evermore Me. And I was just like looking at all these different ways to prepare different vegetables, and there was a whole like section on frying things, and I was like, interesting.
No, it's true. It's a very good point. So if you're interested in doing the more healthy route, actually the egg white is a trick that's used in spas a lot to get things crispy when they're baked. Oftentimes that's how it's done. Low oil, egg white.
This is so delicious. I mean, I am not wanting for anything to be fried right now.
No, but I know what you mean. If you really wanted to make some serious sweet potato fries.
Yeah, providing alternatives for people. Just saying, like, this is the healthy version. There's also a less healthy, delicious version. Not that this isn't delicious, because it's totally delicious. So, yeah, sweet potato fries.
Sweet potato fries. Eat them up.
They're delicious.
And you'll be healthy.
And I think that concludes this cast for today. All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend.